Academy, Jim Blaney, Jack McInerney, Kenny McReynolds on a rainy, cold, early October Saturday. They had a tennis meet earlier today just behind us for the Loyola girls tennis team. And when it started raining, I don't know, about 11:30, 12 o'clock, they made an announcement that the matches were suspended. I don't think they're coming back. It's a little soggy over there.
I would think. They're probably all over here watching the football game.
Providence has it on offense, first down and 10 from their own 40-yard line after getting 10 yards in their last carry.
Well, the scoreboard reads 0-0, but right now Loyola's winning in my mind.
Warfield, he'll try to take it left. He doesn't get very far. Taken down as he tried to make his cut. Mark Nickel, Falkenhayn, among those in on the tackle.
Well, he had his breakout week last week against St. Rita in a big football game. Warfield had 189 yards. Total offense, running and catching the football out of the backfield. He also ran back a kickoff for 82 yards, so that's when he really emerged. So you'll see them going to him more and more today, not only as a runner, but as a receiver.
No gain on that play, so it's second down and 10. This is Marcus Sovic, and the Loyola defense, very disciplined. They hold their ground. Brian O'Brien was there. Nickel was there. All the usual suspects along with Ryan Zinkula.
Loyola always has excellent discipline on their defensive front and linebackers. They don't get carried away with motion and all kinds of different things in the backfield. They know exactly what they need to do. They stay home and they don't over pursue, which allows a lot of big runs on cutbacks. They don't have that happen to them often.
Gain of 2, so it's third down and 8. Hunterford back to throw. Steps up in the pocket, has some room to run, trying to make a move. And Brian O'Brien showed why. He's one of the leading tacklers in the Catholic League. He just reached out that big hand, grabbed down to the foot of Hunterford, pulled him down 4 yards short of a first down.
Another good job by Loyola's defense.
Zach Pitch will come in now and punt in the other direction. Again, the wind, what wind there is coming out of the west, which is from the bottom of your screen to the top of your screen.
Well, this is what he's been getting away with all year in the earlier wins, is his ability to be able to scramble, but Loyola's really kept him under the gun thus far.
Pitch is going to get a roller out of this, and Aiden Walsh lets it go, and it is going to be tapped down at the 11-yard line. So Providence uses one first down to tip the battle in the field position battle.
You know, we talked about Loyola's success in the last several years. They've had 11 wins for 6 straight years since 2008, which is unbelievable. And they've been in the semifinals 5 years in a row. So they've had a real run going from Coach John Holisek. And they've been runner-up twice in the last 3 years. They lost last year in the state championship game to Naperville Central 13-10.
In one of the strangest games, there were so many weird plays in that one. They'll flare it out into the flat, and Loyola working the ball into the hands of Sam Taylor. He maybe got 2 yards on the play, second down and 8 coming up from the Loyola 14-yard line.
Well, Loyola never really hangs their hat on one particular part on offense. They usually have a lot of good balance throwing the football and running the ball.
They'll move Taylor out in motion out of the backfield. Melsheimer looks like a quarterback draw. Got away from the first tackle, got a block, no flag thrown on that. And so Melsheimer will take it out to about the 21-yard line. Now they're going to back him up now and spot him at the 19.
Actually, he wanted to throw the football, but he just got flushed out of the pocket right here, sees an opening, and this is what he's been good at. Good job of blocking back. He was lucky he didn't get a clip right there.
Third down and 4 for the Ramblers.
It's a big third down for them because they're going to give up good field position to Providence if they don't make this.
They empty out the backfield. Here comes the blitz by Providence. Here's your quarterback draw. Melsheimer with a first down and more. He's across the 40-yard line to the 43 before he's finally pulled down by Eric Carroll.
Now, that was an excellent call by the offensive coordinator because they took everybody out of there by the formation. Forced the linebackers to split out a little further, just spread everybody out. Nice job by the offensive line taking those defensive linemen wherever they wanted. He just ran the lane. Linebackers got pulled out. They wanted to help underneath on the receivers. Good call by the coordinator.
So Loyola gets the field position they lost on that last series back. Melsheimer back to throw, got it to Sokola, and that's going to be a loss of 3 on the play. Pitch comes in and makes the tackle.
You know, coming into this game right now, Loyola's had really very good balance offensively and defensively. They average about 175 yards passing. They average about 168 yards running. So that's a total of 343 yards of total offense, and that's excellent balance. And they usually run about 54 plays a game. So they do a nice job of balancing it. It's very difficult to defend somebody that does a job like that.
Melsheimer fires and was trying to get it to Bobby Walker. Looked like Brendan O'Hara might have gotten a hand on that, and O'Hara is a little slow to get up after diving after that football.
Right now, it's more of a defensive struggle than anything for both teams.
3rd down and 12 coming up.
Loyola really hasn't had to change a lot as far as their offense is concerned, but their defense had to make a lot of adjustments coming into this ball game because of Providence's high-powered offense. And of course, now that they have the balance of the run game, that changed a lot.
Buscaglia is one of their top receivers. He's all the way to the top of the screen. We've heard nothing from him so far today. Melsheimer straight drop back, stays disciplined, keeping his eyes downfield, and then just finally runs out of options and gets rid of the football. Nice disciplined job on defense by the Providence secondary. Loyola will have to punt it away on 4th down and 12.
Nice job by 25, Luis Vasquez from the backside, putting a good pursuit onto him. He runs the hurdles in the state tournament, and he was just one step away from making a big sack there.
Luis is a tall kid. I interviewed him before the game and walked over like, wow, this kid is really tall.
And he's lanky. He's 190 pounds, but he runs really well. Obviously,
he looks like a hurdler is what it looks like, yeah. Michael Madej back to receive this punt from Patty Nicolau. Low snap, low kick, but a spiral, and it will take a little bit of a Loyola bounce, then it'll skitter out of bounds where Taylor touched it at the 21. 8:20 remaining in the second quarter as these teams continue to just punch and counterpunch. Mark Coglianese, he's gotten his team to a title game. They were in the title game in 2010. They lost that one to Cary Grove. So as I said, they've had success. It's just that, you know, when the guy in front of you has a run of state titles of 88, 92, 95, 96 through 98, it's a little bit of a tough act to follow, especially Matt Steffner retired as the winningest Illinois football coach in history. Ball at the 21-yard line. Hunniford will check now. Warfield gets the carry, and he's gotten some pretty decent yardage on 1st down a couple of times, and that time he gets 8 out to the 29-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and 2.
Well, that makes a big difference in the play calling if they do a good job on 1st down. They want to make sure that Loyola stays by calling the runs on 1st down, they force those linebackers to stay fairly tight, which then opens up the passing game and the passing lanes.
They have Nick Mandera on Boykin this time. They'll give it to Warfield again, and he battles his way to the 30-yard line, but he's going to be short of a 1st down by about 2 feet.
Loyola's linebackers are so very, very active. The front ties up the offensive linemen, and those linebackers look for the seams to make the fill on, and Warfield's had a little trouble trying to find that running lane.
Big play here. 3rd down and 1. Hunniford making some sort of a change. And now everybody comes up and presses on the Loyola defense. Warfield gets the carry. He didn't get very far because Mark Nickel got there first.
Well, all the change up and all it came down to was the linebacker right here stuffing the run. Nice outside. They're squeezing it from the outside in. Nice job by the defensive coordinator, which is the head coach, Coach Holisek.
So the 2 guys, well, there's 4 guys been the busiest in this game, the 2 punters and the 2 returners.
Good
pitch
snap
for Providence. Good kick. And it's going to roll toward the Loyola goal line. And again, Walsh has to just let it go. It's tough to handle the football. The ball is wet, the field is wet. Ball goes out of bounds at the Loyola 26-yard line.
You know, you were talking about a tough act to foul by Coach Coglianese with Matt Zeffner. Well, the offensive coordinator for Providence is Matt Zeffner's son, which kind of, I think, is a good indication of why they've been very successful right up until this point.
Providence not only won 3 state titles in a row, but they went undefeated in the process of doing it too, which is one of the most amazing runs that any high school football team has ever been on in the state of Illinois. 6:35 remaining in the second quarter. Belsheimer wants to throw, it does! And it's picked off! It was picked off on the carom. It goes out of the hands of Eric Carroll and into the waiting arms of Dan Miller.
Well, actually, Loyola is very fortunate that it went into the hands of Miller and ended up being right here on the 34-yard line, because it could have ended up in the end zone had he made the initial pick. He puts a little juice on this, but right there's the linebacker, steps right in front of it, almost makes the pick six, but they end up with the interception, an excellent field position.
And Miller with a Polamalu-esque interception just to get the ball before it hits the turf. That's a great play. So now Providence gets the first big break of the game by getting the interception. They have it 1st and 10 on the Loyola 33-yard line. Markusovic comes in motion. Hunnifer back to throw. He wants Boykin. Boykin behind the defense, and he gets pulled down. That'll be pass interference.
The ball was a little late in getting there. He was open for about 3 or 4 steps. The ball hung up just a wee bit. Just a smart play by the defender, actually.
Right, because in high school the penalty is not as severe as it is in the pros.
You can see it looks like a punt, but you know, you're looking at a 6'4" target. Initially, he had him beat by about 3 or 4 steps, but a smart play by the defender right now.
Pass interference, defense number 20. 15-yard penalty, enough yards for a first down.
The amazing thing is, Jack, is Boykin almost still caught that.
Well, anytime they see him out on the edge one-on-one, they're going to go to him. And they just kind of have a little rapport between each other, knowing that if it's man coverage, he's going to do it. Because the safety, sometimes they look to see where he's at. If he's too far inside the hash mark, they know he can't get over there to help in the double coverage.
Boykin will play next year on Saturdays at Notre Dame. Warfield comes out of the backfield. Hunnifer looks right, comes back left to Warfield. Inside screen, Warfield still on his feet, taken down at the 8-yard line. He was trying to cross his way back across the Loyola defense, and Zinkula got him.
Well, he's an outstanding receiver as well as an excellent runner. He caught 6 passes against St. Rita, but this is just a little screen right now coming back over the middle. Nice job by the offensive line getting out there, tried to cut it back. Good field position for Providence right now. They're going to have to try and punch this one in because it looks like this could be a game of defense.
2nd down and 2 from the 8. Warfield gets the call. He gets to the 5-yard line, and then he gets spun around and taken down to the ground. It was Andrew Beniana making the tackle, but that will be a first down for Providence, 1st and goal from the 5-yard line.
Well, right now when you get down here, it's not so much what Hunnifer's going to do or Warfield. It's going to be what Barker, Yonker, Zeman, and Troy and Zott do. That front 5 for Providence. Can they handle that Loyola front 7?
Warfield tries left tackle, gets a couple of yards down to the 3-yard line, spun around as he got the football, and then Peter Bunch finished him off.
Again, this is one of those situations where you just watch to see where the surge is. Do those white jerseys end up in the end zone? If the white jerseys of those offensive linemen end up in the end zone, that means they won the line of scrimmage, and that back should be right behind them.
5 minutes remaining in the second quarter. 2nd down and goal from the 3-yard line for Providence. Hunnifer looks, he'll run for it, and he will get into the end zone. Touchdown, Providence.
Nice job right there by Hunnifer, knowing exactly what he needed to get. And I don't think that initially was designed as a quarterback draw. He just had that as a second option. Both receivers ran slant routes inside, but the coverage was pretty good, and the linebackers dropped out to take the underneath coverage on the slant route, so that opened up the running lane for Hunnifer on the delayed quarterback draw. Nice job. That could be the only score we see the way they've been playing so far.
For a 7-0 lead, and that is good.
And taking advantage of a turnover, that's what good teams do. A turnover in Loyola's territory, and they take advantage of it and take it in.
P.J. Kolakowski adds the extra point.
Right here, you can see the slant right there at the top. The linebacker dropped out initially, but Hunnifer right there saw a seam and got into the end zone. Just a good play by a heads-up senior.
The drive started after a deflected interception by Dan Miller.
You know, he really is the hub. You always talk about quarterbacks, but in this case, he really is, because last year he was so effective. He had over 1,800 yards throwing the football. He had 20 touchdowns. Now he comes into this year, and he already has 1,200 yards and 19 touchdowns with only 1 interception. That tells you an awful lot about his poise and leadership.
When we saw him for the first time this year against Mount Carmel, one of the things that impressed Jack and I about him was the fact that when he, and not the throws, and it's for instance, when he scrambles, he knows when it's time to hit the deck. He doesn't take a big hit. We also in that game saw him throw a couple of deliberate incompletions because he had nothing. And he just makes good decisions with the football, and he's a great leader for the football team.
He's a coach on the field. He's not going to make mental mistakes that puts his team in a bad situation and or gives them bad field position, or give up good field position by a poor decision on his part.
Aiden Walsh and Jonah Isaac are deep. This will be Walsh from his own 15-yard line. He breaks through the first series of tacklers, and he was actually turned around and slowed down by Kolakowski, the kicker. But it's a big return for Loyola with 4:40 to go here in the second quarter. They have fabulous field position at their own 42-yard line to try and get a tying score.
Big games like this with 2 outstanding teams, there's often several things that happen. Turnovers and field position on special teams, and this is a perfect example of that, getting field position. And of course, we saw the turnover that led to a Providence touchdown. So all those things come to effect in a big ball game like this, and it's who can take advantage of it.
Bobby Walker will readjust and go in motion. Mel Scheimer will give it off to Laja. He'll pick up about 4 yards out to the 46-yard line. Second down and 6 coming up. You know, Jack, I've got to be fair. I talked about some of the awful weather we've had for Loyola games in about the last year. We were here on a spectacular Saturday before Thanksgiving when they played their semifinal game 2 years ago against Glenbard North. And that was one of the first times I saw Justin Jackson play for Glenbard North. He's at Northwestern now. What a player he is. Laja will let it. Now check that. Melsheimer kept it. He takes it wide. The Providence defense not fooled, unlike me. But it will be a gain of a couple of yards. It'll be 3rd down and 3 from the Loyola 49-yard line.
It's kind of interesting how Melsheimer has really come out of the shadows as a runner, because he really had a tough start in that second ball game. He threw 6 interceptions against Edwardsville, and he almost was benched and didn't get a chance. But they went with Clifford, who did a nice job, and then they came back with the senior, and they needed that senior leadership, and he's really shook that bad game off and has done a nice job for him.
Melsheimer finds Sokola on 3rd down and 3. First down Loyola at the Providence 45-yard line. 3:28 remaining in the quarter. Loyola has all 3 of their timeouts.
Well, pretty good coverage right there by Zach Syke, but all he needed was that 7-yard pickup. Syke kind of backed out, worried about that long throw down the field.
Melsheimer succeeding Jack Penn as the Loyola quarterback. Jack Penn, a left-hander, had a huge season last year. Played so well for the Ramblers. Medina goes in motion. He resets. And Melsheimer, read option. He'll keep it. Across the 45-yard line, steps out of bounds to the 42. He'll actually spot him up to the 41. It's a gain of 4, 2nd down and 6 with exactly 3 minutes remaining in the quarter.
I'm very impressed with Melsheimer in this. Watch how long he rides him and sees the cutback. And here he goes. That's just a great job. If he does that too soon and doesn't ride him for that extra step, there's no play there whatsoever.
Melsheimer back to throw. He takes a look. He fires. He wants to go deep. Biscaglia is there, but it was knocked away. This secondary for Providence is just doing a fabulous job on defending passes. And that was Jack Pell with his 2nd nice play of the day.
The ball was extremely well thrown. It was right over the top, but he waits till the last second. He keeps his eyes on the receiver's eyes and goes up with his inside arm, which is the way you're supposed to do it. And then he takes his hand off the shoulder of the receiver right at the end.
That's good stuff.
Sure it is. Great
Good
camera
stuff.
work there, too.
Tight spiral by Melsheimer, too. He was going for Biscaglia, one of the top targets for Loyola for the first time today. 3rd down and 7. Melsheimer throws quickly, and that's knocked down at the line of scrimmage. Jake Roost makes the play. Almost looked like he thought, man, I could have caught that thing.
Really hit it. Of course, Roost is 6'3", 230 pounds, but he did a nice job right there at timing, getting up off the ground. Looks like your heyday under the basket, going up for a tough rebound. You're on the perimeter shooting, you know.
But I had heart. Heart was about all I had. 2:50 to go. Nicolau will punt it away.
Oh.
No, he won't. He fakes a pass and he's taken down. Good discipline by Brendan O'Hara. He brings down Nicolau after a gain of just a couple, so it's going to go back to the Providence Celtics. Not a bad time and place to try that. 2:45 to go. Your defense, the only points they gave up was when they got great field position after a turnover.
I think there's an audible involved here because Coach Holisek is talking to him right now, but they wanted him to come to the other side. But this definitely was a call for that, unless he has the option to do that, which sometimes you get a check from the coach when you're back there. But big stop for Providence puts them in great field position here.
Loyola will get the ball also to start the second half. So if their defense can get a stop, it's no harm, no foul. Hunterford back to throw on 1st down and 10. He takes a look, waits, fires, and what a defensive play that was by Nick Bandera to knock it away.
Boy, he's got a cannon for an arm.
Mike Beller was the intended target.
He just really winds up and rockets it in there.
The defensive back play in this game, Jack has been outstanding.
Really has.
Two very good football teams. So the basic message is this: if you draw either one of these teams in the first round of the playoffs, good luck. They're really good football teams.
Well, it's an interesting matchup down here, Jim. Loyola has their best defensive player on Boykin.
Warfield, he'll get spun around and he'll get taken down. Tom Dreyer there to make the stop. That's actually going to be a loss of a couple of feet. If I were giving the stats, I'd give Tom a tackle for a loss on that play.
There you go. Very generous. But I think the matchup is interesting here with Miles Boykin. He's a 6'4", 225-pound receiver, and Loyola's matching him up with a 6'3", 175-pound senior who is also returning letterman and their best defensive back. So that's a very interesting matchup. I think what they want to do is they want to basically single cover him for the most part. And then sometimes, depending on down and distance, get helped by the safety.
3rd down and 10. Hunterford wanted to throw it long, goes to Boykin, and Dowdle almost picked it off. Dowdle wasn't even sure the ball was coming, but he turned around and went right to him. What a play.
As we mentioned just before that, he's their best defensive back, a returning starter from last year. A good physical matchup for Boykin. He's at 6'4" and Dowdle's at 6'3". This was intended to go to him the whole time. Just a good recovery. Underthrown there by Hunterford, but still an outstanding defensive play by Mark Dowell right there, 6'3", 175-pound senior.
His older brother, Charlie Dowdle, played here at Loyola too as an outstanding player, and Walsh has to let it go. Looked like he lost it. It's going to roll to a stop on the Loyola 7-yard line. Now what becomes interesting about this is Loyola has all 3 of their timeouts. So Providence is going to have to snap the football and run some plays, or they might be looking at, Loyola's going to have to snap the ball and run some plays because Providence has all their timeouts left. And so this gets a little interesting down here. Because remember, last time Loyola had the football down here, they turned it over.
And Providence took it in and scored. Good teams take advantage of turnovers. Loyola spreading them out.
And Laja will get the ball from Melsheimer this time. Pretty decent carry. Takes it out to about the 12-yard line. And let's see if Providence is going to use a timeout. And they are not making a motion to do so.
I think Loyola wants to just run this clock out of here.
That's what I would do.
They don't want to give the ball back up, nor do they want to make any mistakes down here. They want to get into halftime and make a few adjustments. The adjustments are going to be made mainly offensively, not defensively. They've done a great job.
Melsheimer back to throw. He'll take a look, and he threw it behind his intended target. That was Patty Nicolau. So that stops the clock now with 55 seconds left.
Well, the only thing you don't want to do, obviously, is if they have to punt in this kind of conditions, where the field position is here, a bad snap, which is the first issue, and then then, of course, getting off a kick and any kind of good field position and or good run back.
Rain's starting to pick up again. It's been raining throughout the game. Laja clears out the backfield. Melsheimer is going to keep it. We'll try to turn it upfield, and if he can get to the first down, he'll go out of bounds, and he got close.
No, he didn't get it.
No, he's short by about a yard. So that stops the clock again, 3rd down. And so now it's 4th down and 1. And you've got to punt it away. And if there was ever a time to put the all-out punt block on, it's right here.
They'd have nothing to lose because even if they have a roughing the kicker call, it's not going to hurt them that much.
Right.
It really is a chess match, as you mentioned earlier.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say Nicolau is going to punt this one. He's not going to run it.
Well, that limb you're going out on is not too far.
Nicolau just gets rid of it quickly. He slings a low line drive over the head of Bidet, and that will roll out of bounds. It is time now for Inches to Go. And Inches to Go is sponsored by our friends from Universal Circus. This is DJ Melsheimer. Well, when you go a quarterback draw, you're usually not planning on getting that much yardage, but he picked up several inches and took them with him on that carry. And that is Inches to Go, and it's brought to you by Universal Circus. Providence leading 7-0. They have the ball. They have it on their own 31-yard line. I would be shocked if they did anything than hand it off to Warfield here.
I think they're going to go deep to either receiver on either side.
Boykin was open for a second. Hunterford couldn't get it to him. And he'll pick up about 5 yards. But there's a decision making by Hunterford we were talking about earlier. Boykin was open, but he had a guy pretty close. Probably wouldn't have been too much yardage. So you know what? Why throw it? Maybe have it get knocked out. Unless you can get it to him cleanly on the run, why throw it?
Senior leadership, that's the advantage of having a veteran back there.
2nd and 4. Here comes the rush. Hunterford lays it out. Vovoda incomplete. Boy, it is right now raining as hard as it has all day. It is really coming down now. Not a pleasant day to play football, but it's funny, we talked to Tom Dreyer of Loyola before the game. After we did our little bit with him for Catch This, I said, you know, have a great game today. We're always glad to see you guys tonight. It's going to be a fun day to play football.
Hey, the people in the stands are the ones that, kids out there, this doesn't bother them one bit.
Well, this kind of matchup is something that definitely gets the players' attention, I'll tell you that. 3rd down and 3 with 9 seconds left.
Somewhat of a prevent defense here for Loyola.
Hunterford steps up. He wanted to let it fly. Time is going to, well, there's the slide we were talking about, and he slid down with 2 seconds left. It is a 1st down, so we'll stop the clock, and one of the Ramblers a little slow to get it up. That's Andrew Beniana.
And he actually called a timeout after he slid.
Now remember, he didn't need to right away because they had to move the chains, but he wanted to indicate as soon as you get those chains set, I don't want the clock going anywhere because he's got 2 seconds left in an All-America wide receiver.
And another pretty good receiver on the other side.
Andrew Beniana, a senior nose guard, and he's got that nose guard built, 5'10", 210.
He's been a very active member of that front four for Loyola in the last several weeks, very active. Puts a lot of pressure on those centers and guards.
Been a well-played football game so far. Only one mistake in the game. That was an interception that the Providence Celtics came up with, and they turned it into the only 7 points that are on the board right now.
We mentioned this earlier. We thought that Providence had such a high-powered offense, but under the radar is their defense. And they've done a great job with their defense all year long. And Loyola is really noted for their defense, and it's been what we've heard about.
John Holisek out on the field talking to his defense. I'm going to imagine that part of what he says is know where number 81 is.
Well, you've got to know where he is, but I'll tell you what, they just have some explosive people here. The other guy that they got to worry about is Warfield. I mean, he's pretty effective coming out of the backfield, and he certainly is a long run threat catching the football. So even a middle screen or a flanker screen with him involved, Boykin they take him deep down the field, runs off the defensive backs, and they throw screens underneath and let the good athlete take advantage of it.
The ball will be spotted on the Loyola 49-yard line. And remember, too, you have the possibility of, if you can get Boykin behind somebody, he may get hauled down and you may get another play. Boykin is going to line up in the slot at the top of your screen.
And a prevent defense by Loyola, you can see where those two safeties are. They're almost 30 yards down the field. And the linebackers are dropping off at 20.
Emmett Russell lines up directly across from Boykin, defending the slot, and he's got plenty of help from down and deep. Hunnifer looks, fires, and that's Vovoda, the other D1 receiver. That's a pretty good tackle, folks. Brian O'Brien will get the last tackle of the half. An outstanding football game here in the first half between two fabulous football teams, and it ends with Providence just running out of time.
Nice job just finding